This is the village Tanganyika, and you won't believe what this mermaid did to sleep with the chieftain's son, and the reason she did it. It will teach you a valuable lesson you don't want to miss. Mami Wata lived in a luminous cave beneath Lake Tanganyika, adorned with artifacts washed down from the upper world. Among these treasures was a mysterious baobab seed that sparked dreams of life above water. Mami Wata often visualized the seed's origins: vast savannas under endless skies, majestic baobab trees hosting myriad creatures. Tales from otters and whispers of wind spoke of people living by the lake, their dances, songs, and rhythms of drums. Nights lit by fireflies and days warmed by a shimmering sun filled her imagination. One day, a shadow passed over her cave, a sign it was time to explore the upper world. Driven by visions of baobab trees and open skies, Mami Wata prepared for the greatest adventure of her life. The baobab seed had ignited a spark within her, and now that spark would guide her to the surface. Unlike her kin, Mami Wata was curious about the land above. Her adventures around the lake brought her face to face with creatures of all sorts: playful otters, wise old catfish, and even a grumpy crocodile who knew secrets of the old world. As she navigated the clear waters, Mami Wata encountered a group of otters playing tag. One, bolder than the rest, swam up to her, chirping merrily about a hidden cave where the moonlight touched the bottom of the lake. Intrigued, Mami Wata followed, finding the spot shimmering with otherworldly light, the water dancing with colors she had never seen before. Further along her journey, she met a wise old catfish, nestled among the roots of a waterlogged tree. He spoke slowly, his voice a gravelly echo in the cool water, telling tales of ancient floods that shaped the land and of the creatures that roamed the earth long before. His stories were like pieces of a puzzle, showing her glimpses of the world beyond her watery realm. The most unexpected encounter was with a grumpy old crocodile, his scales like armor plates, sunning himself on a riverbank. He grunted at her approach, but as she listened, he shared secrets of the great rivers that connected her lake to distant seas, and of the powerful creatures that ruled those faraway waters. Each meeting, each story added layers to Mami Wata's understanding and deepened her desire to see the world above. As she returned to her cave, her mind swirled with the tales of the catfish and the paths described by the crocodile, her heart beating with the promise of new adventures that might soon unfold. One fateful day, Mami Wata rescued an enchanted antelope caught in a fisherman's net. The grateful creature, a guardian of the lake, bestowed upon her 3 magical wishes for her bravery. With eyes wide with wonder, Mami Wata thought of her long-held dreams, the stories of the upper world, and the mysteries she yearned to explore. The first wish she uttered was to walk on land, to explore the world that stretched beyond her watery home. With a nod, the antelope touched her lightly with its horn, and the magic took hold, setting the stage for transformations that would bridge the gap between lake and land. She emerged on an island at the center of the lake, where she planted the baobab seed. Overnight, the seed grew into a colossal tree, its branches stretching into the heavens, its roots deep into the earth. The transformation was exhilarating, her tail splitting and reforming into legs that felt oddly firm yet flexible. Exploring the island, Mami Wata discovered it was a nexus of various paths, trails left by animals, streams that trickled to the lake, and flowers that bloomed with an ethereal glow. The air was filled with new scents and sounds, each step an introduction to a world she had only imagined in her dreams. On the island, Mami Wata marveled at creatures and plants she had never seen. But what really caught her attention was the vibrant sounds and sights of the upcoming harvest festival drew Mami Wata to the nearby village, where she first glimpsed Kofi, the chief's son. His laughter echoed like the gentle ripples of her lake, captivating her heart. From a hidden vantage among the lush outskirts, Mami Wata observed the village in a cloak of foliage, her eyes sparkling with curiosity and intrigue. Villagers bustled about in vibrant preparation. Women in brightly colored fabrics weaved through the marketplace, their baskets brimming with the bounty of the harvest, fruits ripe and grains golden. Men pounded on drums, their rhythms deep and resonant, weaving a tapestry of sound that called the community to unite in celebration. Children, their laughter piercing like sunlight through water, danced in jubilant circles. Mami Wata, ever observant, absorbed every detail, filled with a longing to be part of this world. As the festival neared, her desire to bridge her aquatic heritage with the terrestrial joy she witnessed only grew, setting the stage for a magical convergence of her world and theirs. And so she had to prepare for it. Mami Wata, determined to immerse herself in the human world, found both challenge and charm in mimicking the behaviors of the villagers. One evening, as Mami Wata practiced her steps along the shore, the hippo watched with amusement. He couldn't help but chuckle, a deep rumbling sound that stirred the water around them. To win his heart, you must not just appear, but belong. Dance at the festival, sing with your heart, and let your spirit shine through, he advised the hippo. Watching her progress, noted each improvement with nods and more laughter, offering tips to refine her gestures. Loosen your shoulders, he suggested, demonstrating a particularly fluid move that involved a humorous wiggle. Let the rhythm take you, feel it in your bones, or well, your scales. As the festival drew near, Mami Wata's excitement was palpable. Each practice session brought her closer to mastering the human ways, her confidence blooming like the night flowers by the lake. What would happen when Mami Wata stepped into their world, not just as a spectator, but as a participant, remained an eagerly awaited mystery. On the festival night, under the grand baobab, Mami Wata first stepped onto the hard earth, her movements hesitant against the unfamiliar terrain. As she adjusted to the solid ground, the village drums beat a steady rhythm, welcoming her. The bonfire flickered, casting long shadows that played around her feet, and slowly her dance began to unfold. As the music quickened, Mami Wata's confidence grew. She started to weave the tales of her underwater world into her steps, her movements becoming more fluid and assured. The villagers, initially curious, became captivated. They clapped and cheered, encouraging her. A few brave souls stepped forward, joining in her dance, mimicking her moves, and learning the rhythm of the lake that she brought to them. Her dance transformed from a solo display to a communal celebration under the baobab, as she led them through motions that spoke of water meeting land, of currents and tides mingling with wind and earth. The festival night, alive with music and movement, turned into a vivid tableau of unity and enchantment, bridging the gap between two very different worlds. In the crowd was Kofi, the chief's son. Captivated by her unique charm, Kofi couldn't resist joining Mami Wata. As they danced, their movements synchronized, creating a visual conversation that expressed their mutual fascination. As the night progressed, they participated in various traditional dances, with Mami Wata learning the steps from Kofi and the villagers. Their willingness to share and adapt to each other's dance styles led them to create a unique fusion of land and water motifs, celebrated by cheers from the audience. Feeling emboldened, they led the crowd in a spirited dance competition, where villagers took turns showcasing their own moves, spurred on by the rhythmic beats of drums and the melodic tunes from local instruments. Kofi and Mami Wata judged the friendly contest, applauding the creativity and enthusiasm of their fellow villagers. Later, they joined a group of elders in a ceremonial dance, a significant honor that symbolized acceptance and respect within the community. This series of shared experiences not only deepened Kofi and Mami Wata's bond, but also visibly integrated her into the fabric of village life, her presence now an eagerly accepted part of the ongoing festival celebrations. As the evening's festivities reached their peak, the connection between Mami Wata and Kofi, now undeniable, drew them away from the communal celebrations to the quiet of Kofi's hut. Their retreat was meant for a personal exchange, away from the prying eyes of the village. Yet, their solitude was soon disrupted by an unanticipated interruption. The chief, upon hearing whispers about his son's absence, decided to check on Kofi, only to discover him with Mami Wata in a tender private moment. His arrival and subsequent outrage broke the festive spirit, causing a stir among those nearby. The chief's loud rebukes resonated through the village, quickly morphing into a full-blown scandal. This breach of decorum led to immediate calls for a village council meeting. Elders and influential villagers gathered, voicing their concerns and debating the implications of Kofi's actions with Mami Wata. Rumors spread, escalating fears that their union could undermine village traditions and the chief's authority. In response, some villagers, particularly the younger ones, rallied in support of Kofi and Mami Wata, arguing for a more understanding and less rigid interpretation of traditions. This division set the stage for a series of heated discussions throughout the village, each faction holding meetings to sway opinions and decide on a course of action. The scandal not only threatened the harmony Mami Wata had fostered, but also posed a serious question about the future coexistence of village customs with new influences brought by her presence. The village became a common ground for heated discussions, with each group trying to sway the undecided. Market days were no longer just about trade, but also served as impromptu forums for debate. Some villagers even crafted songs and poems, both in criticism and in praise of Mami Wata, which they performed in the evenings. Amidst this whirlwind of activity, Mami Wata herself remained a figure of calm but undeniable concern. She attended these gatherings, listening to the villagers' fears and hopes, and pondered how she could bridge this divide. She realized that more than words, a gesture of goodwill and undeniable benefit could help heal the rift and demonstrate her genuine intentions to be part of the village's future. Amidst the weight of the village's divided opinions, Mami Wata called for a gathering under the iconic baobab tree. With every villager's eyes upon her, she was determined to bridge the gap with profound gestures of goodwill. As she explained her intentions to use her remaining magical wishes for the village's benefit, an air of palpable anticipation enveloped the crowd. The baobab responded immediately. Its leaves rustled without wind, and buds burst into vibrant, juicy fruits overnight. These were no ordinary fruits. They were larger and more succulent than any the villagers had seen, even in their most bountiful seasons. Next, Mami Wata announced her second wish. With a voice full of hope, she summoned a spring of clear, healing waters near the village. As her incantation ceased, the ground near the baobab gently rumbled, and a spring emerged, gushing with water clear as crystal and imbued with restorative properties. Villagers who drank or bathed in these waters reported feeling revitalized, with their ailments eased and their spirits lifted. As she enacted these wishes, Mami Wata was acutely aware of the stakes. These gestures drained her of her magical reserves, leaving her with no means to return to her aquatic home should the villagers reject her still. This sacrifice underscored her deep desire to be part of their community, and her hope that these acts of generosity would soften the chief's heart and dissolve any remaining skepticism among the villagers. The chief, moved by the selflessness and the transformative impact she had on the village, stepped forward during a large assembly under the baobab tree. In a voice Filled with newfound respect and gratitude, he publicly forgave Kofi and Mami Wata, dismissing the earlier scandal as a misunderstanding that paled in comparison to the benefits her presence brought. He advocated strongly for unity and acceptance, highlighting how Mami Wata's integration brought not only prosperity, but a deeper connection to the mystical forces of nature. The chief's endorsement was a powerful call to all villagers to embrace the bond between land and lake as a source of strength and enrichment. The village, now seeing the clear advantages of Mami Wata's inclusion in their community, rallied behind the chief's message. They celebrated beneath the baobab tree, which stood more lush and vibrant than ever, its fruits a constant reminder of the new era of prosperity and coexistence. The celebration was filled with music, dance, and a shared sense of joy and unity, marking the beginning of a harmonious integration of two worlds, with the baobab as a living symbol of their intertwined destinies. Subscribe for more stories of African folklore posted every week.